Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Chart Request Live. This is our favorite show we do. My name is Patrick Dunawella. I'm joined by Sam Gatlin. Sam, how are we doing today?
I'm good, Patrick. How are you?
I'm doing well. Well, you guys know how the show works. If you don't, you guys bring the tickers. We chart it out for you. If you'd like to have us look at the tickers first, go ahead and email us at questions@stockmarketmedia.com, and we'll be sure to get to them first. But Sam, what do you think of the week so far?
It's been an interesting week, Patrick. We're seeing some follow through on last week's move for crude oil. That was a huge move.
Yeah, right?
Pulled back a little bit the last 2 days. That certainly has my attention. Energy kind of leading the day from a sector performance standpoint.
Yeah. Man, it's been all over the place, crude oil.
Yeah.
It seems like just yesterday it was breaking down below 70 there, and then here we are at 76, just ripping back and bringing the dollar with it too, right?
Right, exactly.
Yep.
Yep, that's a headwind for risk assets in general.
You'd think so, but it really hasn't spooked the markets as much as I thought it would. It's like, and we saw this kind of earlier in the year. Like the dollar was such a wrecking ball I think last year and definitely 2022. Um, but you're not really seeing that this year. It's kind of lost its stranglehold on stocks and risk assets because like the first half of the year, dollar was trending higher and stocks did great. And here we are ripping again. And yesterday we got an all-time high in the S&P. So, that's one that's kind of puzzling me a little bit. Maybe
I imagine
it'll
how things would be if the dollar was going down.
That's a
Maybe
great
it would be
point.
going up at a faster rate.
That's
Uh,
that's a great point.
you
Yeah.
know, like look at how we finished last year. That ripper we had into the end of the year. The dollar was collapsing. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a really good point. So, you want to dive right into it?
yeah, let's do it. Vicky with a great request. Let's start off with Chinese internet. Patrick,
Oh
let's look
boy.
at K-Web. Vicky would love for you to fib out the K-Web for her. Probably show the drawdown from the prior cycle
Yeah.
high.
Good call.
Yeah.
Really kind of coming in this week, right? I mean, it was inevitable, right?
Yes.
We knew the correction was going to come at some point.
Right. They had such
Uh,
a huge move out of these basing patterns. A lot like the Russell 2000, like what we saw this summer. You saw
yeah.
regional banks, biotechs ripping this summer, and then
Yeah.
they've
And
done
then
some
punishing the
backing and filling recently.
latecomers, right?
Yeah,
But also rewarding those who were patient and waited for a buying opportunity here because it's really not breaking down yet. Like this is
right.
as nasty as the move was, we're really just kind of retesting the breakout level here. And if we also kind of fib out the move off the lows, let me delete one of these fibs here. Um, Yeah, I mean, coming in right at the same level, 32. So the retracement is the same whether we're talking about the rally, this year's rally, or if we're talking about the retracement of the decline here. So
Right.
32 is really your level to start doing buying if you feel like you missed out on this one. I don't think it's done. I mean, the momentum we saw in this thing, just like the kind of like escape velocity that we saw, that is like as decisive as a breakout comes. So
Right.
with this one, I think if anything, this 32 level, this is a place where you want to be buying this retest. I think it's still hard from a sentiment point of view to buy this. You feel like this thing's just a falling knife here, but that's precisely why it's probably going to be a good buy here. But yeah, I know. I think this is a decent place for some buying. Interested to see where VWAP comes in. Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, just
That could
just
also be a good level to trade against if you
right.
get a pullback that deep.
Yeah, but as far yeah, so we were off like 10% or something earlier this week, but it's still just a classic retest. So not bad. Not bad at all here.
Not
I
bad.
mean, you had RSI confirm here. There's a lot to like about what's happened in the last 3 weeks for China. And we also know that China is like the ultimate FOMO play where once that train starts going, it doesn't stop. It's very fast. Institutions jump on board to performance chase. and their bull cycles tend to be a lot faster than what we're used to here. So if you feel like you missed out on it last week, this is the time to be getting involved, I think.
Yeah, and I think that's an important thing you just touched on there. Like it's the institutions that are driving this, portfolio managers with
Right,
exposure to other
right, who
countries, and
haven't
like
been,
they're very heavily exposed to India right now. Like,
right.
shouldn't some money be coming out of India and into China here,
Yeah,
Patrick?
and Japan as well, right? Japan
Japan
was
as well.
the place to be as far as international markets earlier this year. And then ever since China's been doing well, you've seen Japan kind of sag. And they were kind of pulling back a little before that too. So to your point, you could see kind of the rotation um, in that area. But what do we
Yeah.
got next?
Next, so that was from Vicky. Thank you, Vicky. Next, we have Lin, Lin. So that's Lind, specialty chemical stock. It's about $225 billion, Patrick.
Ooh. And by the way, with this one, I didn't give a target here. So if you're buying this pullback to like 32-ish ideally, then you're looking at 50 or 52 around there to start taking some profits. If you didn't want to play it all the way back to all-time highs, which I think it would probably make sense to consolidate here if you do continue higher. So buying a pullback to around 32, selling it around 52, maybe leaving the rest on to run there. But all right, let's move on to Lynn. So, what is Lind again? Is that
Specialty chemicals from the UK.
chemicals? That's right.
A
They're one of
huge
the
one though. This is a bellwether, Patrick.
yeah,
$225 billion.
they're one of the big ones in XLB, right?
Yeah, huge.
Oh man, I mean, what a beautiful trend here.
Right, yeah. Consolidating below that high.
Yeah, yeah. Looks like it tried to do it but couldn't do it. But I think if anything, that's if it tries again, it's already failed once. How many times is it going to fail after breaking out? I think if you do get above this 475 level is probably a good place. Above 475, it looks good. And then for a target, I mean, this is one of those where if you can get in here, this might be a good long-term place to be on this one. But this one, we're looking at 517 as your upside target. So above 475 gets you to 517. Not a
And look
bad.
at how the RSI has not been getting anywhere close to 30 on these
Yeah,
recent pullbacks.
yeah,
It
yeah.
just seems like this one really wants to break out, Patrick.
Yeah, you're saying that it really avoided a oversold
Yeah,
here. Yeah, and this
yeah.
is the
Bulls seem
daily
to be in
too.
control of this one.
Yeah, this is the daily RSI too. So that's a
Yeah.
good point. It's just it hasn't lost that momentum even though it got rejected. And hey, for a failed breakout, this is a pretty mild reaction, right?
Right, yeah.
I mean, you really didn't get that harsh of a fast move in an opposite direction kind of thing. So yeah, this looks good. Above 475 looks even better to 517.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing that to us, Nick. That's a good looking stock. Next up, we have Dan. He wants to look at AS.
Oh, you
Yeah.
know what? So this one showed up in the buzz a few weeks ago. I write this newsletter that basically we look at stocks that are being talked about the most on social media. It's called The Buzz. And this one was buzzing a few weeks ago. I'm pretty sure they make a few like outdoor brands. You know that there's a company, it's like Patagonia almost. I'm gonna mess up the name of it. It starts with an A, Arc'teryx or something. But anyway, they have like a pterodactyl as their logo. But anyway, they're owned by this company. When I first looked at it, it was just breaking this, so it was kind of breaking this series of lower highs here,
Yeah.
and then it's just
It's
completely.
moved a lot since then, Patrick.
Yep, I was looking at it yesterday, and look at this space breakout. Reminds me of
Wow.
like almost like Palantir or Hims or Uber or something like that. Some recent examples of when you break out from an IPO high like that. That's super bullish. Sam, while I'm rambling here, you want to check short interest on this?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. It's 9% and 4 days to cover.
Not bad.
And I thought this was a Chinese stock, Patrick, but
No, I don't think so.
it's not. It's saying
It's not.
it's from Finland.
Oh, okay. What else do they have? They got that. Oh, Slalom. That's like a ski brand, right? Slalom. Atomic, also a ski brand.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe they're front running ski season here.
Yeah. Well, I'm bullish skiing.
Yeah, I mean, hey, this thing looks great. I wouldn't be a buyer here. I'd hope for a pullback here. I don't know that you're gonna get it. The best ones don't retest, but if it does, you buy a retest to 18, hope that it doesn't get below 17. If it does, then cut it, forget about it. But this one looks like 24, 23 is the next, or 23 is the next stop here.
Yeah.
Um,
This chart is sweet.
yeah, and 10% short interest, it's not great. I mean, it's not enough to make it like the catalyst for the trade, but I'd think of it as like a cherry on top, right? It's
Yeah,
like,
it's like, oh, that's interesting. That
yeah,
can't hurt.
it sweetens the deal.
It's kind of like getting a little like 1/4% dividend.
Yeah,
Like,
there you go. Yeah.
thank you.
But imagine being short this thing and looking at your portfolio right now with it at all-time highs, and you've never seen yourself down more than you are right now, right? Can't be too fun.
No, no, they should be covering.
Yeah,
Maybe that's what they've been doing on these last three candles.
it certainly looks like it, right?
Yeah,
I
cool.
look, I like this one too, how it opened below here.
Yeah, man, that's a great breakout candle there
Yeah, somebody saw that and was like, all right, boom.
for sure.
Maybe it was the covering, like you said.
Yeah. Let's move on to Hanson's. He's looking at Imperial Oil IMO with a 6 month time frame.
Ooh,
So
this looks
this is a
interesting.
$42 billion integrated oil and gas stock from Canada,
Oh man, look
making
at
all
this.
time highs here, Patrick.
Yeah, it looks like we've looked at this one before here.
Yep.
So you finally got the breakout in March of this year. Um, I believe oil was doing well right around then too, right? Or March,
Around
April?
March. Yep.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Uh, Held up really well throughout oil correcting too, right? I mean, here we are, all-time highs now that oil's working again.
Kind of reminds you of ExxonMobil.
Yeah, yes, yes, absolutely. Let's look at that one. Oops, XOM.
Both integrated oil and gas stocks. So
What does that mean?
it means they're doing it all, Patrick. They're
Okay,
not just transporting it.
they're doing it all.
Doing it all.
So they extract it, they transport it, they distribute it, everything.
They refine it.
They
Yeah.
refine it. Yep, big part of the process. Yeah. So this one pretty simple. If it's above 60, looks good to what is that? 90s, mid 90s would probably be a good place to do some selling. And what I did here was I fibbed out the absolute high and low on an intraday basis, and then on a closing basis too. And that gives you kind of a range to do some selling in.
Nice. I really like doing that, Patrick.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just, Fibonacci is just not perfect. It's more of a range.
Yeah, it's not. They're levels to kind of pay attention to, and it's amazing how well they come into play. It really is. I can't explain it,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. So Hansen mentioned there was a 6 month time frame involved. So you think this will happen within 6 months?
yeah, I think it'll probably hit there in within 6 months. And also, Sam, I know you like your RSI. Look at this range. Look at this bullish range down here.
Yeah.
Just hasn't really dipped below 50, and when it does, hasn't
Love to see it
been very long. Yeah. Yeah, this thing looks clear to 95. I hope he's long. Hope you're long, Hanson.
for sure. Thanks for bringing that to us. Let's move on to Wix.
Wix. Wix. Whoa, it looks super tight.
Yeah.
This is a weekly, so let's zoom into it. Ooh.
They mentioned there's a Fibonacci level you might be interested in, Patrick.
Okay. You don't say.
It looks like it.
Let's see.
Wow, it's so
Hugging it,
good.
hugging it like a teddy bear. Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, so this is a software stock as well, Patrick.
Yeah.
And then,
Oh,
so I think that's important to mention. You've got software like IGV, software ETF, resolving a huge multi-year base to
let
new
me
all-time
ask you a
highs.
question somebody asked me once because we're all seeing that base in IGV, and somebody asked me once, do you think there's such thing as like fading sentiment among technicians, right? So a lot of the times us technicians will get as a group really bulled up on something because we're all seeing the same pattern, we're all seeing the same thing. Do you think that's do you think that happens? Like, do you think that's a fadeable thing
Yeah, you
overall?
see it every day. Yeah, absolutely.
But
No question
specifically
about it.
technicians.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, these patterns, they're not perfect. The
So would you
pattern,
be
like
fading
this
IGV?
multi-year base, it's not a perfect pattern. It could very well chop around here for 3 more months and not break out until Christmas.
You know,
Uh,
with this one though,
I
I
don't
feel
know.
like it's failed so many times that it's time to make up for lost time. I mean, this thing, software hasn't done anything all
Yeah,
year.
but that's what every single technician sees. Every
Yeah,
single technician thinks small caps need to break out. The chart looks fantastic, but like it just doesn't have to work like that.
it doesn't
It can do
have to.
whatever it wants.
It is working right now. So with this one, if this one can follow software along above 170, what do you think, Sam?
Yeah, I really like this one. So this is an Israeli one. It's like less than $10 billion.
Is it really?
This is perfect. This you can trade this back to the former all-time highs. That's a great trade.
Would you take some
You can
off
get a
here, maybe?
double in this while IGV does 20%.
Would you take some off here, maybe?
Yeah, you certainly could. I would probably trade it back to the all-time high,
I
but
mean, what would be really sweet, and this is
yeah,
just totally, I'm just totally messing around here, but if it hit here, you took some off here, and then you got like a retest here, and it continued kind of building that base up,
yeah,
and then you get the all-time high. So you get a chance to buy it back after you take it off. I mean, that's just an ideal world,
you
obviously.
could. Or maybe I'd have a half position on right now, and then I would double it above 245.
There you go.
Yeah,
Once it starts proving it that it's working, right?
yeah.
Then you pressing it.
And then maybe it does more than gets back to the former all-time high. Maybe
There
it
you go.
gets all
Yeah,
the way
that's when
back.
the party starts, right?
Yeah,
Is when
maybe it goes to the first
everything.
extension level.
What is that?
Yeah,
553. Ooh,
yeah.
that'd be a nice move. Hey,
So like this
I
double
wouldn't
turns
doubt it.
into like a triple, or
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
four bagger, five bagger. No,
Yeah. I
you just gotta
mean,
let your winners ride, Patrick.
this thing looked like Meta did last year,
Yeah, this
right?
looks
And
fantastic.
yep, it looks like a lot of those communication stocks did last year, XLC itself.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
if you want to
Wix.
be conservative, play it back to 244. If you want to be a little more aggressive or reevaluate once it gets to your first target, then 362, then 550.
Have you ever used Wix, Patrick?
Ooh, I don't think I have. I think maybe I've messed around with it years ago, but it's been a while. I don't think I've ever really used it to build a website. That's what it is, right? Website
Yeah,
building.
website. Yep, that's kind of cool.
Hey, you remember that reminds me of GoDaddy. Remember that
Yeah,
their base?
what
Oh,
a
what a
chart.
chart. What a chart. Man, this thing, what a frustrating range for 5 years, but if you stuck with it, you really got rewarded here.
Right.
Oh
I
man.
love that you could like draw a smiley face and you could also draw a frowny face on this
Yeah.
one. Like, is this accumulation or a distribution?
Yeah. Oh man, this is
I
like
guess
the
the
range from hell.
uptrend. Well,
This,
yeah, I mean, what a
yeah,
mess.
yeah. But resolved nicely.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
still going.
Yeah. So that's all we have from the mailbag. Patrick, you want to move on to the YouTube
Yeah.
chat?
Yeah, I thought I didn't know we were still in the milk bag.
Yeah, yeah, no, good mailbag today. So thank you for everyone for sending those to us. Wavy McFly is at the top of the list
Wavy,
here, Patrick.
wavy.
Looking at Honeywell, Hun, Hon.
Ooh,
So this
interesting.
is a monster industrial $138 billion.
Yeah, industrials are shaping up again a little bit.
Yes, they are.
This one, wow, look at that week. Really nice week for Honeywell. Um, Actually, I'm kind of curious.
So this is the sixth largest industrial stock.
Whoa, looks like best week of the year almost, right? 446. Best week since last October. Interesting.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, well, since last year. Either way,
It's time for Honeywell to join the party.
it sure is. It sure is. It's been a frustrating one too, ever since August 2021. Um, it's kind of hard to define where this risk resistance is exactly. I'd say like 220. Above 220, then you're probably clear to the all-time highs around 235. Um, but I mean, it would make sense for this one to start working, right? We're seeing all of its friends start working. We're seeing Caterpillar, John Deere, all those other industrials, all starting to work after months of just not working, right? Like Caterpillar.
Well, yeah, yeah. Industrials have been working this entire bull market, though.
They have, yeah.
Recently,
Well,
they've been sideways, but yeah,
right.
the big ones have broken out to all-time highs. Industrials, yeah, like look at that sector chart. I mean, that looks so good.
This
The
deer thing actually, deer is kind of a chart from hell too.
Yeah, this is like the GoDaddy.
Yeah, yep. Who knows? Maybe it'll when it rips, it'll really go. Everyone will wish they were in deer, even
Yeah,
though nobody wishes that right now.
yeah. So, did we get a target on the Hun?
I don't know if we did.
So, buying the breakout,
280,
280. Okay, cool.
280. Yep.
Thanks, Wavy.
220 gets you to 235. 235 gets you to 280.
Yeah, love the Honeywell.
Yeah.
So, JB is in the chat. Ask him to look at DBX. So, this is Dropbox, another software stock. $8.5 billion, it looks like, in market cap. Maybe there's a trade here back to that shelf of former highs. Was that an earnings event there, Patrick?
Yeah, it looks like a nasty earnings gap there.
How much was that? Did it like get cut in half?
Probably looks like it. I mean, in one day it felt okay, 23%.
Yeah, couldn't even
But
get
from
cut
the
in half in
highs,
one day.
yeah. So this 25 is your level here. Looks like it broke out of that.
Yeah,
A really nice clear level there. Next stop is 28, and that would make perfect sense. I mean, that's where this thing opened the day of that nasty candle. And this thing was flirting around all-time highs, all was good, and then this happened. And so, this is going to take some time, I think, or not. It's either going to take a long time or not much time.
right.
But I think this is the clear path right here. So 25 to 28. It's not a ton, and especially at this point now that it's already up. But if you're long this one, I wouldn't be a seller until 28. Looks like you'll probably get that. And then it'll be interesting to see how it treats this gap, whether, that's like a vacuum and it just clears it and just goes right back to 31, or if it, really sees some pressure here and this is something that's going to take a while to repair.
Yeah.
But
Like, what if this earnings event in a month is the catalyst?
there you go. I mean, we've seen that before where like Snap, I think, is a great example.
Yeah, Snapchat.
That was such a weird chart. I already have it
Oh,
circled
gosh.
here, where you had
Like
a
a
whole
joke.
quarter. Yeah, I mean, you had like this wasn't like an island reversal, but a whole quarter worth of price action just
Yeah.
hanging out.
And then it happened again. Consecutive
Yeah.
quarters.
Yeah, I mean this. God bless Snapchat investors. I mean, that's not been an easy stock to own at all.
No, not at all.
But who knows? Maybe we'll see the show again, right? Maybe it'll leave this whole thing down here on an island again and just gap back up to 17. Who knows?
So does this chart ever break out?
I hope so. And again, if it does, it'll be one of those things where those who stuck around will be rewarded and it'll probably really rip. But
Yeah.
until, whoa. Man, we're just like this is right on theme with October. All the spooky charts from hell. We're really hitting all.
That's funny. Did we get a target on the DBX? Yeah,
Uh,
back to
uh,
those that former
yeah,
high.
28
Cool.
there. Yeah.
So Frey Lee's in the chat asking about Berkshire Hathaway and FICO. You pick one, Patrick.
Ooh, okay. Let's we'll do both, and then I'll go through these pretty quick. But let me just remove everything on here. All right, we got Berkshire here. Then resolving out of this little base.
Yeah. Berkshire, is this still $1 trillion? It's no longer $1 trillion. Just
Oh
below it,
no.
it's like 25 billion away from $1 trillion.
So this one, you can see these VWAP levels, or VWAPs. These fibs are coming into play here. Broke out here, retesting perfectly. I mean, like almost, I hate that term to the penny, but to the penny. Um, I think this is a perfect scenario where you want to use VWAP at this point to get in and out. If it's above there, you can see a lot of psych outs here, but I mean that's trading. If it decisively reclaims that VWAP, then the bulls are back in control, and you're looking at the next fib. Which one sec? Ah, that messed things up a little bit. But 527 would be next.
Yeah, $500 roll. So how do you think of Berkshire, Patrick? Is this something you just trade options with? And it's kind of like if you're bullish on industrials and financials and don't really want to trade those ETFs, do you just trade Berkshire?
Yeah, I mean it's got its hands in everything, right?
But
So
a lot of
it's almost
industrials and
yeah,
financials.
yeah, yeah, not so much tech, right? It's more like the Dow than it is like
Right.
Nasdaq or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, but with this one, yeah, I mean it's just kind of like another index almost, right?
Yeah. It's
Um,
like we love to sell puts whenever like the VIX is spiking and people are freaking out. We love to sell the puts on Berkshire Hathaway. 'Cause,
there you go. There you go. That's listen, I wouldn't bet against that. It's pretty
yeah,
solid.
I think that's such a
I
great
hear a lot of
strategy.
people talking about Warren Buffett's cash position and what that means and what he's where his head's at with that. And
Yeah.
uh, I mean, it is
He's
an
dumped a bunch of Bank of America too, but then he's
yeah.
buying other stocks in the financial sector. So
What
maybe
has
he's
he
not
done anything
bullish.
with Apple? I know.
Uh, I don't think he's done anything on Apple recently, but it has been decreased.
Let's look at FICO and then we'll wrap
Yeah,
this up. Maybe one more.
yeah.
Got it. And
FICO, what a beast. Do like a
yeah, this
monthly
one.
chart of this, Patrick. Show all time. It's just
Yeah.
like it's just a straight line up. It's so good.
Imagine if you got involved in this space back in 2013.
Yeah.
You had a nice decade here. Um, this one, let's see.
Man.
I mean, that's tough. What do you?
It's a brand new up leg here.
Yeah,
We're going to 3,000.
we're going to 3,000 with yeah. This one, if you can get in it, just buy it on a pullback and just hold on for dear life and just ride the wave.
I guess.
Yeah, I mean maybe 1800, maybe that's your level 1830. And then trading it up to 3,000 ish.
Yeah.
But this is
This
just
is
one.
one of those charts that's difficult for technicians, kind of like
Yeah.
Eli Lilly. Uh, like
Yep.
that's really difficult for a
Yep.
technician. It just goes up. Like
Yep.
there is no level to define risk against.
No, you're absolutely right. So what do you think? We got any more?
Yeah, let's wrap it up here, Patrick. What do you say?
Leave it here?
Yeah.
Let's do it. But let me ask you, what was your favorite?
Oh man, I like the industrial theme, Patrick. So
I know where you're going with this.
yeah, Honeywell. I think there's a catch-up trade there. I think it breaks out. I think it goes to all-time highs.
I like
So
that.
for that reason, I think Honeywell is my chart.
It's certainly safer than any like biotech or something like that. It's hard to lose your shirt in this one, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with AS. I think I'm
Yeah,
not saying it's in a
this
good
is so
spot to
good.
buy today, but
Yeah,
maybe keep this thing on your watch list because this thing looks promising.
yeah.
Just from a technical point of view and the short interest too, you mentioned like almost 10% short interest. Man, I would not want to be short this name. So those guys are inclined to cover.
Yeah. And Patrick, Reddit, I noticed pull that chart up. One more before we go.
Yeah.
It
Ooh.
this one could end up looking like the AS.
Yeah. Good call here. You know what? IPOs haven't sucked lately. IPOs have,
Yeah,
and that's really good for the market. That shows risk appetite like none other.
right.
Um, I've been thinking, especially all this talk about open AI. I really think this bull market's going to end with an open AI IPO. I think they're going to go public, and that's going to be it.
Yeah.
That's going to be it for
It wouldn't be surprising, Patrick, honestly.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I think that would make so much
yeah,
sense. But
it
we'll
would.
see. I'm totally just spitballing here, but it's fun to do that. So
Yeah, it is.
anyway, thank you guys so much. If you want us to cover your tickers next time, be sure to email us at questions@stockmarketmedia.com and we'll get to them on Monday. Everyone have a great weekend. Sam, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.